Okay, welcome everyone. This is our meeting number 215, Personal Growth Leaders Advanced Toastmasters Online International Club. And today our theme is Make It Happen, Make It Matter. And our Toastmaster of the meeting is Anvita. Over to you, Anvita. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Have you ever had a dream, a goal, or a vision that you felt passionate about, but then something stopped you from going forward? Maybe it was fear, self-doubt, or peer pressure. We have all been there. Make it happen, make it matter is not a motivational quote. It is a call for action. It challenges us to turn our aspirations into reality. Making it happen means pushing through the obstacles, taking that small step, no matter how insignificant it is, and continuing when the going gets tough. Making it matter is also very crucial. We have the potential to achieve a lot of things, but not all those things has a lasting impact. We have to create something meaningful. It is not just about personal gain, it is about leaving a legacy and contributing for the improvement of this world. Let us ask ourselves two questions every day. How can I make something happen today? How will it matter in the future? Then take that first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment, but create one. Make it happen and make it matter. Whether it's your career goals or personal project or any small act of kindness, make it happen and make it matter. Your words matter. Your roles in Toastmasters matter. Your speeches matter. We do have the word of the day today. I would request our grammarian Lola to please give us the word of the day.
Thank you so much, Anvita. The word of the today is initiative. Initiative is a noun that means the ability to take first step or act on something independently without being told. And it's about seeing what needs to be done and doing it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Anvita.
Yeah, please give a big round of applause to Lola for taking up the initiative to be the grammarian today. Our first session is the prepared speeches session. We have one speaker today. DTM Fatima is going to deliver a speech from the Pathways Visionary Communication. Her project is develop a communication plan. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Please put your hands together to DTM Fatima. Communication plan. Communication plan, DTM Fatima.
Communication is so important. And this is my second project, doing this project, communication plan. During COVID in 2022 or 2020, when I was the Vice President of Public Relations in Malaysia, one of the Toastmasters Club, I designed this project. Of course, now we have more updated features in this project. And it is really, really nice initiative for anybody to have explain this, whether it's your personal life, even if it's your club or your business. Now, the first time I completed this project, it was for a club in Malaysia. And because the way it's done, it helps us to identify the target audience. Now, if we are not carefully asked the relevant questions, I wanted to show you on screen, but I'm using John's laptop, hence I'm unable to show you. There are different sections, actually. How to target the direct audience, which is the first audience, and also intermediate, or what we call a little bit far audience that you want to target. Then also it talks about other audiences. And each section, it helps us to identify, to reflect, think, and how we can actually give the key messages. And also the communication plan, which this time, instead of targeting the club, I'm working on my business, how to promote neuro-linguistic programming to enhance. Now, to give an example how effective a communication plan can be for the club in Malaysia, within 6 months, I was able to attract 13 prospective members who joined the club. Of course, we can argue because if it's during the COVID, still I count as an achievement. Now, after developing this communication plan, we are planning to run a NLP program in the modules. We have a highly qualified trainer that is coming on the 29th of April to 3rd May, 5 days full-time training. And I have been promoting, of course, with help of John, sponsoring, communicating, targeting the audience. And initially I thought, okay, the price is very high, USD $1,800. How are we going to get the 10 participants we agreed upon? I was in Malaysia doing my dissertation, doctorate dissertation, fully busy. However, with defined, clear-cut messages, today we have paid 8 members, 8 participants who are going to join, and we need 2 more. And this is why I believe this kind of communication plan can be so effective, especially on social media. I know, we always say, don't we say, social media can be really a killer. You don't want to be on social media. They have everything about us. Our names, our parents' telephone numbers, everything. They can track you. However, when it comes to publishing and getting what you want, if you have a business or even Toastmasters Club, I know so many clubs we are struggling, and this is an example we have set even in this club, because Isam, our BPPR, he has been diligently carried on different initiatives, the newsletter and selling our club. And every week we get a perspective through Toastmasters saying they want to visit. Now, for me, the key in any communication plan is identifying the target group, the geography, the demographics, which really help in Toastmasters. When I tried to fill the information, I thought, no, this is not for me. This time I felt I knew it was really, really good plan that's going to work, and it has proved me that it can work. So for all the Toastmasters who want to take up this project, you can apply in your personal life, you can apply to your club, or your business to raise up the bar to make it a success. And as for me, we get, of course, $4,000 by helping and running that program in the modules. And through this communication plan, it has raised the bar beyond our expectations. So go ahead, try to develop this communication plan that can change your life, your work, and of course, your club if you want. Thank you.
Please give her a big round of applause. By having an effective communication plan, DTM Fatima, you have shown us that we can also lead successfully. We need to have apt messages. We have to ensure that people know that we are going to make a difference through our plan. Your communication plan does matter. Moving on to our table topic session, where we have 2.5 minutes to make our words matter. I would like to call our table topic master for today, Toastmaster Ruchika, to take the screen. Over to you.
Thank you, Anvita. So, if anyone would like to volunteer for the table topics. Okay, Kaushal. So, the topic for you is, which do you think is more limiting, the fear of failure or the fear of success?
Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, the fear of failure versus the fear of success. I've never compared the two. I would have to say, from personal experience, I fear failure a lot more than success. So I would say the fear of failure is more limiting. It's the fear I feel the most. And when I feel this fear, I try to tell myself, you will regret not trying more than trying and failing. That is quite a true statement. As far as fear of success, it's hard for me to relate to that fear. I know that fear exists, but it's hard for me to think of examples in my life when I've felt that. I think the fear of failure is much more dominant for me and probably for most people. So I would say the fear of failure is much more difficult to deal with. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, Kaushal, for sharing. And yes, there comes a time, like I think me also, we never think about it. And at certain point, when such situations come, we really have to think. And it is beautifully said that it's better, like the statement that you mentioned, it's better to fail rather than to regret. So beautifully mentioned. Thank you. So the next volunteer for table topics. Okay, John. Okay. Okay. So if you had to swap lives with a famous person for 24 hours, who would it be and why?
Say again, I didn't quite hear that.
If you had to swap your life with a famous person or a celebrity for 24 hours, who would it be and why?
Swap your life. Who it would be?
Do,
Swap my life with somebody.
sorry.
Um, if I were to swap my life with somebody, this is difficult. I'll swap my life with Fatima. she she's got a good life because she's got a good husband. So I'll swap with Fatima and get a lot more benefits. That's for 24 hours. It's only for 24 hours. That's okay then. Because then I'll know after that she'll be really nice to me. Back to you, Ruchika.
Okay, thank you, John. The- Okay, thank you, John. Thank you for sharing. Um, anyone else like to volunteer for
Yeah,
the
I
table
can
topics, or
volunteer.
can I pick?
Yeah, I can volunteer.
Okay. So if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
This too shall pass. Good day, Toastmasters. I would like to tell my younger self not to worry too much about anything because this too shall pass. When I was younger, I used to get panic attacks the day before the examinations. Oh my God, what is going to happen if I fail? But then, marks really don't matter in our life, isn't it? And studying for the exams, mugging up, all that stress, it is only temporary. I really regret worrying too much about it when it is not that important. Also, there were instances when I have fought with my friends and cried. I was worried about it. But then again, that was a temporary phase because we patched up. I got better friends. I really regret simply wasting my time over it. Then there was the COVID pandemic. It made me think as if the weight of the entire world was on my shoulders. Am I going to get COVID next? Will my loved ones suffer because of it? Will jobs get affected? So many worries and thoughts. But again, that was a temporary phase. It passed, and now we are all back to normal life. Every day in our lives, we face problems, certain situations, which makes us anxious. That time, you have to remind yourself that it is just a temporary phase. This too shall pass. You have faced many such problems in the past and you have emerged successful. You're going to keep on continuing to face such obstacles in the future too. All we have to have is hope. Have faith, have hope, and move forward because this too shall pass. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Anvita, for sharing. What a beautiful message. This too shall pass. And I think not only the past versions, this message, for at least for me, for the current version, is also very important. So thanks for sharing this wonderful message. Like, was I audible?
Yeah, a bit
Yes.
low though. You're okay. Yeah.
Okay. Like the message that I shared for Anvita, was that audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So next volunteer for the table topics, if anyone.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so
Sumesh, go ahead.
okay, Sumesh. So if you could time travel for one day, where and when would you go?
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. Time traveling is something that is at the moment some kind of imaginary situation. That's what probably everyone would think, that it's an imaginary situation. But is it actually an imaginary situation? Just think about our mind. The mind has this capacity to be at whatever place it wants to be. And wherever the mind is, there we are. Is there any doubt about this? For example, we are 4, 5, 6, 7 of us here in the meeting at this moment. Is our minds here as well? All 7 of us. If our minds are not here, if a mind is thinking about something else, then even though physically we are here, but we are not here. So the traveling, time traveling and traveling to other planets, everything can take place. And it can take place in the mind. And whenever it takes place in the mind, we know we are there. So this is the power of our mind. Anything that is in existence today, for example, this whole concept of having this Zoom call, it was in the mind of someone at a particular point in time. And then that person had so much conviction about this particular thing happening that it became a reality. So to answer your question, time traveling is happening now. And the traveling that we have done now is across all the countries that everyone is based in. Over to you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Sudesh, for sharing. Yeah, what a wonderful message. It's about we are there where our mind is taking. Basically, where we are taking our mind, we are already there. So thanks for sharing this beautiful message. Next volunteer. Okay, Fatima.
Lola,
If you have,
then I can do, then I think enough.
it's you or Lola. Okay. If you had to explain your life philosophy using just 3 words, what would they be?
Can
Am
you
I not
explain
audible?
one more time? No, I can hear you, Rushika. One more time, can you repeat the question,
Okay.
please?
Okay. If you had to explain your life philosophy using like 3 words, what would they be?
Thank you so much. That's a great question, Mrs. Topics Master. If I had to explain what's my life philosophy, I would say 3 words. It would be vision, my goal, and plan in order to achieve this goal. For example, all my life when I was at the university, when I was a small girl, I always had a vision. I always see my future. I would not see my future in my country. I always pursue knowledge and I always try to be with the knowledgeable people. And some people, they ridicule me because they never understand me. I would, instead of going out with my friends, I would spend in library. I would go to reading clubs or movie clubs. I would organize clubs and work with others. At time, it would seem like I'm like crazy. At time, nobody would understand, but overall, I see where I wanted to be in life, and I knew my mission in life. I had certain vision, and I see studying abroad, living abroad. I didn't see my future in my country because it was very hard in my country to live. and I didn't like the society. That's why I did my best, and I used knowledge in order to achieve my goals. Having a vision in life is very crucial because it's gonna help you to navigate through life. I have known many people who just live their life without any vision, any goal, any plan. They just live their life. But I feel like whenever you have a goal, vision, and when you are persistent towards your goal, sooner or later you're gonna achieve this goal. Thank you so much. Back to you. Table topics master.
Yeah, thanks, Lola. What a wonderful message. Vision, goal, and plan. And I think with vision, goal, and plan, we can make any our goals achievable. And that is what you are doing and have done. So thank you for sharing that. Um, Fatima, would you like to go next?
Okay. There's the prayers going on. So if you can hear me, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If your life were a book, what would the title be?
Come again.
If your life were a book, what would the title be?
If I were to write a book, what the
No,
title
no,
would
no.
be?
If your life were a book, what would the title be? Let me ping it.
Sorry, the prayers going. Can you type it in, please?
If your life was a book,
If my life is a book. Okay, okay,
what
okay.
would the title be?
That's a good, very, very interesting question. And I think this is why we need to do these kind of reflections. Now, when you ask me what my life, if I were a book, what would be the title? It took me a minute to reflect. And I believe it would be positive mindset. In my family, I have 9 members, and I'm the eldest daughter. You know what that means. Taking care of my siblings, and parents are too busy to pay attention to little girl who grew up, and I didn't have much love. And as I grew, become a teenager, my life was difficult as well. Along the way, I immersed in reading books. That became my initiative to pass through journey in life. And my title would be positive mindset. If you have the positive attitude towards any challenge in life, you can break through any challenges you have in life. And this is my experience. In August, we are completing 15 years of marriage, plus it's my birthday, 60th birthday. And I feel proud with all these challenges in life I have come through as a person who is highly respected, who is accepted by society in the Maldives, as somebody who can influence positive thoughts in others' life. Positive mindset, Fatma Tafia.
Thank you for sharing, Fatima. And it is your life itself reflects how positive mindset can impact not only to navigate one life's challenges, but how you impacted other people's lives. So thank you for sharing. Um, do we have like anyone else or?
We have Zina.
Hi, Zina. Would you like to volunteer for table topics? Okay. I think she. Okay. So I think like she's not there. So thank you for volunteering and thank you for sharing your thoughts on each of the topics. And I was feeling like I have selected some topics which were I feel that bit difficult. I'll take care from next time that I won't keep it like this. So back to Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ruchika. Please give her a big round of applause. You have indeed selected excellent topics for today. It made me contemplate about life in general and also about life lessons. The table topic speakers made me do that. I realized the importance of having a positive mindset in life, along with a good vision and goal. I also learned not to fear failures, but instead just try and do something out of it. Thank you for your contemplative topics, Toastmaster Ruchika. I see that we have a guest who has joined us now. Zina, would you like to introduce yourself if you're there?
Hello,
Hi.
thank you. I just joined your group because of I saw one of here contents sharing this link. That's why I have not much about content tonight. So just being to connect to people, what will happen or what are the conversations with among the peoples, and most of the times we can see the women's are discussing such a great topic. So I just want to make that break out this fear, the communications in front of peoples. So that's why tonight I joined. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Zina. It is a pleasure to have you amongst us today and hope you can join our future meetings as well. Thank you. Moving on to our general evaluation session, where our general evaluator and his team will tell us if we made it happen in this meeting and if it mattered. Over to you, DTM Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. This is the last section of our meeting, which is the evaluation section. They say feedback is a breakfast of champions. And this is the feedback part where we try and understand how we did. The first part of this general evaluation session would be the speech evaluation. And I would be doing that speech evaluation for the only speech that we had, prepared speech that we had from Fatima Afia Brigden, DTM. This was, the title was Communication Plan. And the project was Visionary Communication Path, Develop a Communication Plan, 5 to 7 minute speech. As usual, Fatima, you've done a great job in terms of clearly communicating what you wanted to speak about in this project. So you mentioned us about the importance of making the communication plan and executing it. And that was very clear from the onset in terms of how you have given a personal example as well. And that is really important, I think, in terms of our learnings for everyone hearing a particular speech. The most important aspect is how that uniquely has influenced our own life and how that particular example of the influence that it had on our life will inspire others to try and do things, and then they change their own lives as well because of that. And your message was quite clear from that regard, where you gave the example of the NLP business that you're doing in terms of the fees being 1,800 US dollars, and that's not less money. That's quite a good bit of money, and people would think, especially people who are middle class, would think a lot before they are actually going to pay that much amount of money. So you actually showed the initiative that you have in terms of making that happen. You informed us about how you have used the social media to the advantage in terms of getting the people. You mentioned about segmentation, so and targeting. So generally in the marketing terminology, they talk about segmentation, targeting, and positioning. These are the three main aspects that they talk about. And you actually mentioned about targeting. So yes, so you had everything in the speech in terms of how the communication plan can help the person to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And you actually gave a practical example that you already got 8 people who are actually paying 1,800 US dollars, and you need 2 more people. So you're already 80% there, 20%. There's still 1 month left. So you're nearly there in terms of your goal. So huge round of applause in terms of giving us that example. That even though it might seem a little bit challenging or daunting, but if we have the right communication plan and if we do the execution in the right way, everything is possible. In terms of bringing your speech to the next level, what I would say is maybe think about the transitions a little bit more. So you had mentioned about how you can have it on the club, how you can impact it for the club. So when you're transitioning from the club to the business, and then maybe you came back to the club, just think about how you can make it seamless, a little bit more seamless. Otherwise, I think it was a great speech in terms of inspiring everyone that if we have a good communication plan, then we can achieve whatever we want to achieve. Thank you very much for the great speech. Now we come to the next part of the evaluation session where we have the report from our role holders. So I would like to invite Kaushal Gupta to help us inform about the timer report. Over to you, Kaushal. Thank you.
This is Mr. General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters and guest. Our speaker today was Fatima. She spoke for 6 minutes, 31 seconds. For our table topics speakers, Kaushal spoke for 1 minute, 31. John for 34 seconds. Anvita for 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Somesh for 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Lola for 2 minutes, 28 seconds. Fatima for 2 minutes, 22 seconds. For the evaluation, Somesh spoke for 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Kaushal, for a comprehensive report in terms of how we did for the timing. Thank you so much for that. Now we go to the next evaluation. And again, there's a great initiative that was taken immediately by Lola in terms of grammarian report. So over to you, Lola. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. So, Anvita, she used one time the word also today, which was initiative, and Miss Fatima, she used twice. And I want to encourage all of you to use the word of the today in your speeches. I noticed that when it comes to weak words, I did not notice much as usual in your speeches. So excellent on for all of you for not using weak words. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Lola, for an interesting grammarians report. Now, in terms of the overall evaluation of how we did with the meeting, we had some hiccups in the beginning in terms of the link. So we just need to try and see what we can do. What I will do now is I'll send in another link, and we should after this meeting, let's try and use that link and see if that works. I don't know why this did not work. I've created a new one, and maybe I've sent it in the chat now. We can see if this works. After this meeting, we can try and join and see if this link works. So hopefully that hiccup doesn't happen the next time. So this was the initial hiccup that we had, but then we started 2 minutes past, and this is the great thing that we have as a club here, that even though sometimes things are not planned well in advance, but the moment we come in here, we are ready to do what we should be doing. And it's quite interesting how the grammarian chose the word as initiative. So, everyone takes their own initiative and just jumps in and runs a very professional meeting. So I think we need to give a huge round of applause to each one of us for, doing that, making it possible every week. It is not easy. It is a commitment that we make, and we know lives are busy. There's so many things that are happening in each and every one of our lives, but we still try and make to these meetings every week for 1 hour, which is a great way of us motivating each other with our own experiences. So that is really good. We started on time. It was great, as usual. Great session started by Anvita in terms of the Toastmasters role, and very nicely the transitioning and everything has happened. Even though there was one speech, I think it was really good that we had good bit of topics there as well. In terms of the topics master, Ruchika, huge round of applause to you for taking this role, and new members taking new roles and coming out of their comfort zone. This is what we want. So congratulations on that. One of the recommendations that I could give is, generally for the topics master role, you just say the topic, and then you have the power as a topics master to ask a person to take the topic. You have the power. You don't need to ask them to volunteer. Of course, some people do it that way, but as a topics master, this is where we are actually showing some kind of leadership initiatives as well, right? So what does a leader do? Leader would ask a person, request a person to do whatever they are comfortable doing, and sometimes they would also ask the person to do something that would help them to come out of their comfort zone, but in a nice way, so that they don't feel intimidated by something new that is coming in. So this is how you're practicing the leadership skills, by doing all these roles, right? So next time when you're doing, Ruchika, just give the topic, and then you can actually ask a person to take the topic. It's within your role that you can do that. That's a very small recommendation. You're doing it for the first time, so you have done it in that way. Try and do it the other way as well. What happens is, when we just give the topic out, everyone will start thinking. If you ask the person first, only that person will think about the topic. Others will might zone out. There is a possibility that they might. So when you just say the topic, now everyone is thinking, is she going to call me? Is she going to call me? And then you can actually call the name. And then it's fine. And if someone is not able to answer the topic, they will actually say that. And one of the interesting things that I've noticed is, in my home club, there are very senior members, 15, 20, 25 years in the club. And even they sometimes get stumped by some topic. And they very honestly, they sometimes say that I'm not able to answer this. So these things can happen, and that's fine. If that happens, that's fine as well. But the important thing is, we just give out the topic, and we have the power as the topics master to ask to say the name of the person and please answer. So that's a very small thing, but well done. Huge round of applause to Ruchika for this. And what else? I think we have done good in terms of, even though we are having challenges with number of members and the roles getting filled in advance, but I think we are still continuing, and it's really a great encouragement for each and every one of us to be here and learn from each other. So with that, I end the general evaluator report, and I would like to hand over the virtual gavel to our Toastmaster, Anvita Hegde.
Thank you, DTM, Somesh, and your team for helping us improve for the better. Every day is a new day. It comes with new opportunities. That's why let us not procrastinate and make any excuses. Let us take that first step to make something happen. Let us visualize our success, take action, and work towards it. Only then can we achieve success. Make it happen and make it matter. To conclude, I would now like to hand it over to our President, DTM Fatima. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. And a very, very warm welcome to our guest, Zina. It's lovely to have you, and I hope that you will come and visit our club. We are a small international club, even though we still try to meet weekly, and we enjoy, sharing, learning from each other. Now, I don't have a lot to say tonight. I will just once again say, reinforcing what Shomesh has said, that as a club, we have challenges like we did tonight when we were logging a technical glitch we had. Still, we came together, we sorted out, and we started and carried on as if nothing happened. And it was a beautiful meeting, and I enjoyed it, as I'm sure all of you have enjoyed. And as again, remember, we are coming to the end of the term, so those we need to remind members, if they have not paid, to make their payment. And I hopefully we will have members, new members as well, Ruchika, Lola. I would advise you to step up and take up leadership role and become exco members. And you will learn so much. I assure you that even though you have been leaders in other organizations, I assure you, this being the leader in this club, you're gonna learn a lot more. So with that, I join the meeting and see you again next week. Thank you so much. Zina, would you like to say something before we go away? Because in about this time, it's 7 to 8 p.m. So I think you joined a little bit later, so you missed out a little bit. Still, you're welcome. Would you like, I know you missed out a bit. Still, you heard of the evaluation, which is also very key in Toastmasters meeting. Have you attended in any meeting? Would you like to say how did you see, where did you see the information about our club? And, how did you join? And where are you from as well? I'm assuming you're from Maldives. Zina, if you're there, would you like to say something?
Sure, Fatima. Thank you so much. I saw the link by inspiring you. I can say that I see your so many leadership that online meetings that you are sharing every week.
Oh,
I had met you from Iftar in Malaysia. I think I discussed so many
yeah,
information
nice.
from
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, okay.
so many informations
Okay.
I get from there. That's my pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Fatima, for inspiring the younger generations for this kind of communication skills by connecting overseas so many people, how we connect each other. We can learn from you as well. I know you have so many experiences that we are younger, right? You have so many experience in other field also. So that is, thank you for your great job.
Thank Thank you so much, Zena. You're most welcome. Next Saturday, every Saturday we meet about this time, 7 to 8, and Malaysia time is 10 o'clock. But we'll be going back next week, right? So much 1 hour. So that means it will be 9 o'clock Malaysia time. So look forward to seeing you. 6 o'clock in the morning. Mm. 7 to 8, we don't, so it's confusing. With that, I joined the meeting and thank you so much. And I believe Teresa will be filling up the roles, or anybody anybody has anything to say, you're welcome to have a word. And if not, we will close the meeting. Picture.